My name is Debbie Rogers. I come from a family that was divorced. My mom and dad was divorced. They divorced when I was 3 years old. I lived in Columbus, Ohio, and my mom moved me to Olive Hill, Kentucky when I was 13 years old. In that time, my mom got married into a family, and I was mentally, physically, and sexually abused by that family. That I hid a lot of that stress and that hurt and that pain to come into my teenage years and to my adult years. I went to church when I was a little girl, but not fully surrendered my life to God. I just went through life, believing in God and not believing in God because of people dying and stuff like that. In 2008, my mom left this earth, and I got strung out on drugs. Before 2008, I was, dabbling in drugs, a whole lot of doing, hiding things. And from 2008 until 2012, I was out in the world. I was being the world. I'd come to church with friends and stuff like that, and then I'd back away from church. June 12th of 2012, I went to jail, and I'd been walking around town, and a cop that works in Grayson, he told me, he's like, I'll get you. I'll get you one day. And I'm like, no, you won't get me. And 3 days later, he picked me up on a PI, and I went to jail. And I was getting ready to get out for a public intoxication, and they hit me with 2 unpaid fines and told me that I'd have to stay 30 days to finish those fines out. And knowing that day that I could have possibly got out, I had nowhere to go to. I had no one to go to but out into the world. And I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, living the life that I was living, lost everything. Lost my home, lost my friends, lost myself in the midst of it. And when I was in CCDC, I just got on my knees, and I'm like, God, if you're real, you will come in my life and you will save me from the world and set me free from this addiction that I'm out here selling my body and don't have anything for. And he come in, and ever since that day on June the 13th, actually, God had come in my life and completely changed my whole lifestyle. I got out July 2nd of 2012. I left town for a few months. I went up to my uncle's, and, we wasn't around anybody, and, I was still praying and, asking God to guide us and everything. Well, we come into town, and God sent people into our life to, show us the right way and show us the love that we needed. And they brought us to our church body and to their church where, they were active members of society. I come to church, and I met people that, loved me and showed me that I was very lovable. I would ask for rides. I didn't have anything, didn't have a home. Some people here at the church, employed, my boyfriend, because he was my boyfriend at the time. And, as we're coming to church and stuff, they, let us know about, the sins and, God's way. And they asked, would you and your husband, you and your boyfriend like to be husband and wife? And I'm like, oh, So my church had me and my husband a ceremony, and we got married. I got hooked up with the ladies at the church and started cleaning the church. If I come up here to clean, and if I didn't have a ride, I'd walk up here to clean the toilets and stuff like that. I humbled myself. That went on, for a couple years. Then I started cleaning trailers, and members of our church started letting me clean their house. They trusted me, and I was building that trust with my church people. And then I got a job working at Food Fair, as a cashier. I was there a year, going on like 14, 15 months. And a couple in the church, offered me employment. And that's where I'm at today, running a small business here in Grayson, Kentucky. We were renting off of, people. And my boss asked me to come down and look at a home. And I'm like, me and my husband's like, we don't know if we can afford, to getting our own place besides renting. But God's bigger than that, and that was a fear that we had over us. We went down there, and 2015, we became homeowners to our very own place. In the midst of that, we got our license and got us a car. So here I am home. Me and my husband are homeowners, and we're doing what God's called us to do. And today, a recovering coach. I'm giving back to the community what was gave to me. Today, I have a relationship with God that I've never had before. He has restored everything that the enemy has taken from me. One thing in my walk with God, He lets me know that I leave the past in the past and I don't look back. That I go forward instead of trying to take myself backwards. I let a light shine in me because I lived in darkness for so long, and now people see the light that comes out of me, that I have nothing but love today.